Hey, what's good, everybody? Squad. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over like the past, um, kind of like go over last week's list, which I think in last week's video was MNST, DDOG, CRM, and CRWD, and then I'm gonna go over like three that I'm gonna possibly be looking at this week. But for the most part, I'm still gonna be looking at my other ones, especially crowd, no, CRM or whatever. Um, all right, so in last week's video, um, we I plotted MNST. I went to the month. We saw the month was red. All right. Then we went to the week, and at that point, it was an inside week. All right. So that's why I was looking at MNST. It was inside week. It looked bullish or whatever. And then on the day, let's see, what was that? 514. On the day, I think it had already went up. Yeah. Because I think Monday was the 18th. Was it the 18th? Let me see. No, the 17th was Monday. All right. Um, so where's the 17th? 14th, 17th. All right. But anyways, so looking at it, as you can see what the entries were, the hour entry. Let me go down to the hour because I had plotted on the hour as well. So we had the hour entry for calls and the hour entry for puts. And then we had the weekly entry for puts, the weekly entry for calls, whatever. And as you can see, what ended up happening, I think Monday it gapped down. So then that's when I just took my eyes off of it. I was like, well, the gap down. So it ends up gapping down Monday, which it actually could be, good for a decent call this week because now it got to fill that gap. So that might be something else I'll look at, rewrite that back down, scribble through it. Um, but yeah, so ends up gapping down. It recovers Monday, so it gapped down. So it opened here at 89.03, and then it goes all the way up to 91.26. So you could have possibly tried to play that. Obviously, there wasn't no full time frame continuity necessarily. What it was continuity. Sorry. So when it opened, right? It opened obviously red because it opened down. But once it starts poking up, then once everything turns green, so like your hour goes green, your day goes green, technically your week will go green too, right? Because they all got the same open. So if it's above that open, then it's green. So technically you would have time frame continuity with those three time frames. But also remember, there's the intraday strat time frame, which is the day, the hour, the 30, and the 15. So technically, you would have had continuity on all that. And as long as you stay green, you could have just played that all day. All right. And then as you can see, the next day it opens and it goes up and then it comes back down. And then was that Wednesday a gap down? I can't remember what exactly, but I think it was like fear of the Fed news coming out about interest rates or something like that. So a lot of stuff gapped down Wednesday, and then they came back up. Um, and then I'm tripping. I'm starting all the way over here. I am tripping hard. It did gap down Monday though. I know that for sure. Yeah, because here it closed here Friday, and then it gaps down. So disregard what I said, but it did open down here. It did go up. It dropped for a while and then it started recovering. Once it started recovering, you could have tried to play that. But then the next day it was red. And then the next day it gaps down again, comes down, comes back up. And then what was that? That's Thursday. It goes on a crazy run Thursday. You could have played that all day with what I said, the intraday strat time frames, which is your day. I mean, yeah, your day, your hour, your 30, your 15-minute being green. All right. And then Friday was red again. So that's why I kind of like took my eyes off of it, but it could end up going back up because, like I said, filling that gap right there. But my bad, I had a brain fart. when I said I was starting all the way over here. But for the most part, that was MNST. I didn't get in it. So basically that's how it played out. Next one is DDOG. Like I said, a lot of stuff Monday. Monday was kind of like a Monday was like a red day. It threw off a lot of stuff. Which it really didn't throw off a lot of stuff, but you didn't get that entry per se until the next day, unless you just took like an early entry or whatever. But as you can see, Monday gaps down. All right. So it closed here Friday, gaps down Monday. Like I said, mostly everything kind of did that. And then it went down, came back up, went up, came down, closed. And then which basically made it an inside candle, which I lost track of it. And because that would have been, if I delete these over here, all right. So that's the weekly entry. Right here would have been a daily entry because this is an inside candle. This candle is inside of that one. So you could have, once it broke above here, hopped in, or, if you found what is that, 17, a early entry on a lower time frame, you could have hopped in. So where's the 17th? See, I don't even know the dates. I can't keep up with it well on here. So, all right, so Friday. All right, so Monday, gaps down, boom. Tuesday, your entry could have been right here. All right, so yeah, it wasn't really no early entry on the hour. All right, but overall, it ends up coming back alive. I'm back on the daily chart, right? All right. Yeah, it ends up coming back alive. It goes outside because, like I said, Wednesday, the fear and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff open, gap down, went down a little bit, and then start coming back through. Like Sarah said, once it get like halfway through the previous candle, that's how you know it's gonna be an outside day. You go ahead and take that. Or, you know what I'm saying, if you was already entered here, just kept that contract, possibly, even though we don't talk about averaging down or average down in strat, because you buy the dip, it might keep dipping, but at least once it got 50% back through, technically you would have averaged down on that contract because, one, theta decay, two, it dropping down, it's at a lower price. So once it went halfway through the candle, you could have averaged down, right? Because if you held overnight and it gaps down, I mean, there was no way for you to really get stopped out unless when it opened up, it stopped you out. Then at that point, if I see a gap down, I got a stop loss on my option contract, I'm taking that stop loss off. Because if it recover, you would hate to get stopped out and lose all your money on a contract or lose 50, 70, 80% just for it to recover that same day. Because I was in CRWD when it gapped down and I was down bad and it recovered. So, you know what I'm saying? I just went to sleep for like an hour and then woke up and my contract was back up like a good bit of money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so Wednesday throwed everything off with the news coming out, but most stuff went outside day. Um, and so once it went outside, if you would have hopped in from 50%, you could have rolled this up because then the next day, like, look how it went crazy. And it's almost up. So we blew through the first price target. Some profit taken Friday. Because obviously, look how good it ran. And it's probably going to try to continue up to here. So I'm gonna be looking at DDOG again for this week. This chart is similar to CRWD's chart. A lot of them kind of look like this. A lot of charts kind of look similar to this. Or it's like a two down, and then this week it's like a two up. You know what I'm saying? This is an inside count. So this is why I was originally looking at DDOG because it was an inside week. I was like, oh, if it break, then you know what I'm saying, it can go somewhere. And as you can see, it still has room to grow. You know what I'm saying? So after this second price target, be this one, maybe that one. You know what I'm saying? There's more price targets you can have, but like I said, this is on the weekly chart. So for the most part, as you can see, my list from last week basically gonna be the main thing I'm gonna be looking at still. So that was DDOG. Let's go to CRM. Boom. CRM week. That's it. CRM and crowd look the same. Let me change it. All right, there we go. So that's why I was looking at it last week. Did the 2 down, did a hammer. I was like, all right, if it break above that, boom, we in there. And as you can see, even though I said entry for puts on the 1 hour, let me go down to the 1 hour last week. Because it does end up going that way. And then, like I said, it recovered. So you could have played puts Monday on it. See, boom, it broke below it, went down for a little bit. Boom, you could have made some money on puts Monday. And then once it started recovering, you hopped out. And then, boom, could have hopped in the calls, rolled it up from here all the way up to there. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, as you can see, you could have got paid off puts and then eventually changed position and hopped in calls. Like right here, you could have went ahead and hopped in calls. If you didn't like it over here, when it pulled back, hopped in the calls and then rolled it up. For CRM, I got sidetracked with CRM, honestly, as well, because I was so focused on crowd. Like crowd, it did numbers for me. So I just kind of like focused on that because I was working out a lot last week. So I kind of got distracted. But overall, as you can see, it hasn't even hit the first price target yet. So for CRM, it hasn't hit its first price target. So I'm gonna be looking at getting back into actually getting into it. Because it hasn't hit the price targets. So it's not too far gone. Even though, so this is the thing with options. Every third Friday of the month, the option contracts expire. And then like that next week, it's kind of like meh with volume. Because most people are just waiting for the new month, you know, and as straters, we're for the most part, we can't wait for the new month because there's a lot of monthly setups for the new month. Once, you know, next month come, but also you got to think next month on the third Friday is June, the third Friday is quad witching. All right. But overall, as you can see, the entries and everything has panned out so far up to this point. I think CRM has a re-entry. I think it has like a, all right, so that's a 2 down. Was it an inside day? It's something that it's did. Yeah, so it has an inside day. So the thing about CRM is I think it has a gap it might want to fill. Yeah, it might want to fill this gap, which is why it's kind of like trending down. But at the same time, it's trying to get outside this bar. As you can see, it's been inside this bar, which is basically why it's an inside day. So it might fill this gap right here and then go back to the upside, which at that point, it has, you know, a bunch of pivots to break through, at least on the 1 hour. So right about now for this one, I would say, you know, mark. So let me delete these old drawings. Basically, can mark this top, boom. Edit properties, entry, what is this? Daily. And then if it breaks to the downside, oops, you know, entry for puts. Like I said before, no bias, man. No bias at all. So, and then if it breaks to the bottom for puts, I would just say right here, this would be my price target for the puts. To puts. If you just wanted to see where I would target, that's where I would target. But still the same targets for the calls and stuff like that from the last video, basically. So like I said, so far things have panned out. As for the most part. Obviously, this one didn't hit the price targets, but you did get a good entry. So from let me zoom in a little bit more. So from 218, once it broke, if you could have rolled it up to 226 without getting shaken out, that's an $8 move. Probably would have made some good money. And then type in crowd, boom. And as you can see, I got some sell limits in. If it gets up there, I need to probably change it to this. But because I still got 4 contracts that I'm swinging over the weekend. Hopefully Monday ain't too brutal to where I'll be like, F it. But anyways, as you can see, crowd did the dash. It broke the entry, and then it hit the first price target, our first price target. All right. So crowd looking good. Like I said, it looks the same like CRM, except for it's hit the price target. CRM has this 2 down hammer, and it looks more like a hammer, full hammer. But it basically looks almost the same with as far as like the price action, where it got like these 2 red candles and it's trying to get back to the top of them. But yeah, CRWD, man. If I would have swung my calls from Thursday, because I didn't swing, I sold my calls Thursday. I didn't swing to Friday. But if I would have just held them one more day, man, I would have 100% in my portfolio. It would have been crazy. But yeah. So I'm still messing with CRWD. I'm gonna find that re-entry for CRM, like I said, calls or puts, and then DDOG. I'm gonna try to find a re-entry on that. And like as you can see, I'm still in CRWD. And if it goes down, if it doesn't break too bad to the downside, I may like I said, this isn't Strat. I might average down. But as you can, because my thing with CRWD is it kind of has this little baby gap right here. I'm like, I don't want to do it, want to feel it. But as you can see, it did not want to break to the downside. Like it's just been a straight line up. Like, bruh, man, this like I know sometimes I be having some good trades, but it's like for everybody to see this before it happens, it's like, yo, this player is cold. But anyways, as you can see, here's like on the smaller time frame, on the daily time frame, you had these smaller price targets you could have, been mapping out. But I just mapped out the top one, which is the top of the broad information. It may get up there, it may not. Like I said, you got to see about the price action. But it's looking like it wants to get back up there because as you can see, like Rob said, it used to be somebody, it used to be a lot higher. It used to be at 251. We're at 210. And if it keep going, I'm probably gonna flip my contract, roll it further out because my expiration is this upcoming week. So I'm probably gonna try to roll it out for another expiration. But here's the thing about it. We know quad witching is coming up, all right? So let me try to go back a few months. All right. What I'm trying to pay attention to, because quad witching is what? March, June. Is it September? July, August, September. Yep, September, October. Yeah, September. So as you can see, before CRWD has actually did good on a quad witching month. Back in December, it did good. Now in March, it ain't do good. But that's because exhaustion risk. It was at all-time high. It was about time for it to come down, as you can see. And then, it became an outside bar of this candle. So these 2 candles are a compound outside bar of this candle right here that I'm on. So September, it kind of did decently. It went up, came down, but it wasn't too bad. And then let's see, June. So just going back, it CRWD doesn't perform that bad on quad witching, especially the December one, which the December quad witching wasn't that bad. The March quad witching was kind of pretty bad to a lot of people. So don't know if June gonna be that bad, but CRWD looked like it said F a quad witching. So now like I said, you beware of quad witching. I'm not saying you trade it. Normally I didn't even trade the March one really. I just was sitting on my hands. I seen people getting clapped. I was like, glad I listened to my gut. So, um, yeah. So for the most part, it looks like it's trying to make it its way to the top of this broad information. As you know, a higher, older, higher broad information. So the older one is this one. Um, boom. You know, the lower one was that one. And as you can see, it did kind of bounce right here. And then it bounced right here for this new one to go back to the upside. That's why I say sometimes you have a broad information and a broad information. It isn't always going to touch the bottom. It isn't always going to go up and touch the top. As you can see right here, it didn't go back up here. So, you know, hopefully it gets back up there. Well, not back up here per se, but at least to the second price target. Um, because that would be dope.